Welcome to Kathy and Susie's Kids. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Matthew, and we're here live from Samaway Studios. Tonight, we have our special guest in the house, Mr. Shawn Amisial. Say hello to the world, Shawn.
Hello, world. What's up? Shawn Amisial.
Wanted to bring you on the podcast, Shawn, to kind of go into some details and let you give us, first off, your recommendations on this nice drink that we've been provided from Hops and Growlers. What do you think about it?
Straight up, it's delicious.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, they had to slow me down. I already went through my first glass.
That's good, man. Yeah, it's Naked on Porter, and then there's Kiss My Grits. What's Kiss My Grits is a lighter. It's a lighter beer.
Okay.
So we're saving that one for later.
Scott watched us on the podcast. Shout out to Scott, but he watched us
Scott.
he watched us on the podcast, and he goes, with Nick and me and you, and he's like, yeah, I forgot. I should have you a lighter beer, too, just for an option, because it looked like y'all were having a good time.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And that's what it's all about. You know, we want to kind of loosen up and let it out. So here you are. One of the few things I think a few people here that do know you and some people who don't know you kind of, you know, the coast is a small place. And whenever you're new, people get curious about new. So tell us a little bit about how long you've been here.
All right, been here about 3 going on 4 years. Actually, the first time I came to the coast was in 2014, but I moved here permanently 2016.
So tell us, what did you necessarily see that told you this was the place that you wanted to spend some time?
Honestly, I wasn't really sure initially. My best friend's a pharmacist out in Houston, Texas, and my buddy Jacob, he's from the coast, and we were in school together in Savannah. And he's always talking about Biloxi. And in Savannah, we're like, we don't know anything about Biloxi, But he said, hey, on your way to Houston, pull up. We'll show you a good time. So on my way to Houston, I pulled up, showed me a good time. First time I ever been on a boat. We hung out, went to, it just so happened to be the 4th of July weekend.
What?
Oh, my God. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Where'd you go, to Horn Island?
We went to Horn Island. Somehow he locked down 10 spots on this guy's huge boat, like 30 good-looking people. Everybody chilling, everyone partying.
I wasn't invited.
I wasn't invited either.
I was like, oh, my God, this is crazy. But he did tell me, hey, one rule, like, what up? Don't fall off. like, all right, never been on a boat, but I can do that. And I ain't falling off.
That sounds like a pretty big boat.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
Yeah.
It was a bad boat. I guess the weekend or two before, somebody had fell off, and it was like, "Hey, just don't fall off."
Yeah,
everything
can't be worse than that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's back up a little bit.
Let's
do
it.
You talked about being in school and meeting Jacob and getting to come down here, and what brought you here and what I guess kept you here. But let's talk about before school. So tell us all where you're from originally.
Originally, I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Moved down to Florida during high school. Went to FSU. Go Noles for undergrad, moved back to Brooklyn, taught high school chemistry for a while. I was pre-med at FSU, chemistry degree, got published, did a whole bunch of stuff in chemistry, thought I was going to be a physician. And the competition is what drove me. But when it was time to write that personal statement, I needed clinical experience and went to shadow some doctors. It's real, man. Shout out to medical doctors, bro. You guys got it.
Shout out, buddy. Yeah.
You guys got it. Because I was competitive. But when I walked into the hospital, the first patient I saw, a shadowed neurologist, she didn't have any legs. She was a model. It was Jackson Memorial Hospital down in Miami, and she was a model, and she got into a car accident, and lo and behold, no legs.
Wow.
I was my first patient with the neurologist, and I was like, okay,
That's
this isn't studying.
your first patient?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
He saw a few that day, but that was the first one that caught my attention, caught my
Definitely
eye.
stood out.
Yeah, for sure.
I had some family go medical, and they wanted me to do it, and I was like, I get queasy looking at my own blood.
Me too.
Let alone anybody else's. And then they're like, you don't always have to go internal in blood. And then I started looking at other things, and I was like, I don't like to read that much. But any props to anybody who does it. So it wasn't for you, but but you still did pre-med, huh?
Yeah. So that's just a curriculum for the most part. So I still finished with chemistry, got published, did some good research in organic chemistry, was on a paper. Not too many undergraduates get to be on a paper most people that do research and to research one kind of tier one institution, they're postdocs. They've already been through the rigors. They went to grad school. They had their doctorate. And, they're publishing now. And I had the fortunate opportunity from relationships and from studying my butt off in undergrad to do some research, and it took a year or two, but it got published. And,
Let's talk about that, because I know
Yeah.
me and you have had several conversations on this, and this is just how stupid I am as an individual. The first time somebody was telling me, hey, Shawn's published, I'm thinking that he wrote a paper,
And
it
I'm
got
thinking
put,
the same
it
thing.
got put in a magazine, or it got released on a website or something. And then I actually asked you about it one day, and go into a little detail about what published is, because this is, to me, what it was explained to me. This is like winning the World Series of a researcher or a scientist. So yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, so pretty much when you're doing organic chemistry research or any sort of research, you study and you do experiments and you hopefully get them to work. But that's how you get the pharmaceuticals. That's how you get the drugs. It takes the little guys to kind of do the research and manufacture certain or create certain protecting groups to make the active ingredient in the medications that you guys take work. Because without the protecting groups, the active ingredient won't do its job. So they know it works. It's like, well, how do we get what works to work for you without your body destroying it? And that's what a lot of the organic chemistry research is about, trying to get protecting groups to make active molecules.
You hear that, kids? Stay in school.
Stay in school, do your thing. But so got lucky, got into a lab, and worked out. There's great guys in there. There's a postdoc from, I believe, Princeton, MIT, California Institute of Technology, CIT. A lot of good people there.
What was your like you said, doing your research, like kind of what was your work schedule? Like a 9 to 5. Like how much, like Monday through Sunday?
That's exactly what it was. It was during the summer rotation. I had a summer research block, and it'd be 9 to 5. But the lab's always open, so it didn't close.
Come
so
and go as you want, or come back.
The expectation is still 9 to 5. But if you're a go-getter, even to this day, I never believe in a 9 to 5.
Right.
Like I go, so it's pretty much sun up, sun down if you can. And
So pretty much your life is just into that research. Like that's your life.
it depends on the person,
Yeah.
right? So some people 9 to 5 and they can get a lot done.
Yeah.
But I was new, didn't know a lot. I was an undergrad. I just
Trying to show off.
I really showed off, just trying to keep up.
Be
They
true.
were all brilliant. And
So
I
what
knew.
exactly were y'all researching at this point?
So it was oxypyridinium salts.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, exactly. Protecting groups. That was the
Okay,
conversion.
protecting
Yeah,
groups, okay.
protecting groups to help, some cancer drugs do their thing, do their effect, and yeah.
So at what point, take us through the experience of you realizing that y'all just kind of had a breakthrough?
Oh, I didn't. I was just doing pretty much what I was told to do,
Okay.
and just being familiar with what the goal was, and just seeing if what I was brought to do, or what I was contributing, if it worked. And I was helping out with the natural salts, and I didn't know if it was going to work. So the brain behind it was my mentor in undergrad, Dr. Dudley. He left FSU. I think he's at West Virginia now. But anyway, he was the MIT guy. He was my mentor in undergrad, and he was the brains behind it. So he's the Bill Belichick,
Right.
and he
Really?
he's
That's
the
cool.
Bill, and he's the brains behind everything, and he'll direct, and we listen, and hopefully everything works out. But we found out after graduation, I was interviewing actually for a teaching position in New York City, high school chemistry position, and I told them, it was in process. We weren't sure. We're hoping, to get publication. I actually found out that it got published after the vice principal that interviewed me called my reference, which was Dr. Dudley, and he was like, "Yeah, by the way, tell Shawn we made it."
What a way to find out.
That was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That's cool.
So needless to say, I got the job.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, we got a published guy."
Was it a lot of because that's gonna be like a lot of pressure, like you're because you're in this lab, you're going through all this stuff, you're doing the research, and but I mean when is there a lot of pressure on y'all? Like I know there's a lot of studying. You said, is it? I mean,
I would say
Is it
the
relaxing?
the pressure is definitely intense, but it was more so for, I would say the other postdocs had more pressure than I did because
You're new.
I was new, and I was an undergrad. They weren't expecting me to, knock it out the ball. Yeah,
Or knight in shining
I was
armor.
low guy on the totem pole, but they all appreciated my passion. They all appreciated me, wanting to, do well, and I put in the hours. And I feel like the pressure was on them though, because this was their livelihood for the most part, like them getting papers and getting published and doing real research that can make a difference. And the point of the publication isn't just for like esteem or anything. It's more so when you figure out what works, other people, when they're creating, remember, it's all about protecting that active ingredient so they can use your formula. So the publication is pretty much you putting your recipe in the recipe book, and hopefully that will help someone
build into something
Exactly.
further and better.
Exactly.
So
they
still,
can go.
and how often does that happen? I mean, whenever you told it to me, like I do remember it being like very huge of an ordeal, and then it dawned on me like, man, how stupid am I? I thought this guy was just writing something in a book to actually
fine.
what you explained to me.
So as an undergrad, it's rare. Most undergrads don't have that opportunity. So that was really what I was getting at. But as a postdoc, you're expected to, contribute 1 to 2 a year. At least it's an expectation. You're supposed to get it done. But as an undergrad, that doesn't happen too often.
And they don't play around though. It's like you're here, you do the, you can't skip, you can't, like, it's strict. I mean,
Well, there's probably all kind of people fighting or wanting to be in that
Yeah.
position.
Yeah, there are a
right?
lot of people jealous.
how many people
but,
get accepted? And like when you do that program, how many people do they let in when you were?
I'm not really sure. I just I knew that as a freshman or sophomore, I was top 6 in chemistry, and then after that, I got the chemistry award and scholarship. So it was more so like, well, if you do well in organic, then
Well, that's
This
That's
just makes
impressive,
sense.
man. That's impressive.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I got lucky, but I'm sure it's really competitive. But not too many people, honestly, not too many people in undergrad were really like
Going that
fighting.
route.
Yeah, they were.
I feel like we need to cheers. to that.
Yeah,
Top
we should
6.
cheers.
Yeah,
I
top 6, bro.
appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah,
Man,
thank you.
he's,
Yeah, I
top, he's,
appreciate
he's
it.
the top a lot. I've heard some good top stories from him. We might
That
get
was
some of
back in
those
the day.
later.
No, that was back in the day.
I found that interesting though. You're right, Matt. Good. I mean, I liked how you clarified that because now I kind of understand. I was always confused when people said that because when I have friends, the medical life, like all I see them doing, like was it residency or so I see them like, and they look tired.
Oh yeah.
They look like, I mean, it's just
It's rigorous. It's nonstop, and you have to be passionate about it. It's not about the competition at that point. That's why the personal statement is so key. They need to know why you want to do medicine because it is rigorous. And honestly, I'm glad I didn't go. Like, I'm so happy doing what I do now. I'm a pharmacist, and I love my job. I don't think I would have had the same life experience if I was a medical doctor. It just wasn't
No,
for me.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
We would have never met you either. So that would
Exactly. I wouldn't have been in Biloxi living the best life ever. So.
The best life ever. You
Best
heard it
life
here
ever.
first, folks.
Hey, Biloxi.
it would be
I
in
love
line
Biloxi.
5. Neptune's line
Neptune.
5.
Hey.
Line 5.
The number 1 line in Neptune's line 5.
Shots
Without a
fired.
doubt. Without a doubt. They all know it.
So fast forward a little bit. I know you went up to Savannah, and what's the name of that school that you were in up there?
It's south.
South,
Yeah.
just south.
Yeah.
It's pretty brave of them.
I like it
Just
though.
south.
It's
Just
kinda- I mean,
south.
I think the founder's name was John D. South or something.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But it is strictly just a pharmacy school. Or
No,
do they have other things, or-
they have a nurse practitioner
no clue.
program. Yeah, it's in
Educate
Savannah.
me.
It's not much to educate. They have a few medical terminal degrees in medicine. Nurse practitioner, PT school or PT program,
Okay,
and pharmacy.
tight.
And they have an undergrad.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with the program, but I'm guessing they have a good business program or something like that there.
Right.
I have a GED, Shawn. So I mean, honestly, it sounds like you got a lot of steps going on there.
So how many years is pharmacy school?
Generally 4 years, but with South, no summers off. So what attracted me to the program when I was in FSU, we knew there was this new pharmacy school that was 3 years nonstop straight through. And at that point, I've been teaching for almost 4 years, and I was like, well, I want to get in and get out.
Right.
I don't want to spend 4 years if I can do it in
So
3.
Joe did that with his nursing degree at South Alabama, just like went like an accelerated degree, I think is what it was called, but it was no stop, and
Just go.
that's probably what I needed. All the stopping and goings was slowed me down. I'd have to go, get back from Horn Island and drive back up to school. That wasn't, who wants to do that?
It just depends. I feel like an undergrad, of course, you don't want to go straight through. You kind of want to get that experience. You do. And I wouldn't probably the best 4 years of my life in Tallahassee. Besides the coast, I love the coast. But I had a great time in Tallahassee, and I wouldn't want to accelerate that at all.
I
Right.
I like Tallahassee.
Yeah, I've been a couple times.
Yeah, I've done some
beautiful football stadium.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Biggest brick building in the South, I think.
I think I did some motorcycle thing there once. Yeah, they do like cool events. They have a lot of cool things going on there, right? Yeah, they're always
sure.
like,
Just Florida in general.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. I
A
mean,
lot going on in Florida.
There's a lot, all the way from the Panhandle down to the Keys.
For sure.
We do a lot of diving and stuff down there. We used to a lot when we were kids, but
did you ever find any treasures?
yeah, but we'll bring those into another show. I might
Okay.
even bring in show and tell one day.
I want to hear about these treasures.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, I mean, look, we're interviewing Shawn, but
Hey,
this is about you too now, bro.
Right.
We're just getting started. I want to hear.
So coolest thing in Tallahassee other than going to school? Go ahead, put them on the map right now. You were there for what?
Football Saturdays. That's
Football
the coolest thing to do.
Saturdays.
Yeah. And one of my best friends at the time, Tony Carter, what's up, bro? He was on the football
TC.
team, TC, and he was my dude, and he like gave me in a few parties and stuff too. So I could be like a nerd and geek out during the week and go
Still be on this prestigious.
That was pretty sweet.
Kind of like being in line 5.
That was exactly
Line
just like
five.
it, just like it, just like it.
So, whenever you finished up pharmacy school, tell us about your interviewing process with the region and where you wanted to go, and what you kind of led you to send in your resume or your application out to where you did.
So it was more so where do you want to go with pharmacy? And so I was working for a chain as an intern, and they said, hey, well, you pretty much have a job. You've been with us. Where do you want to go? Pretty much anywhere in the U.S. And I called Jacob up, and I always thought I'd end up back in New York City. That was my goal. But New York City had some tests that they required you to take, and it's compounding. And most other states don't require it. But if you go to another state, work for like a year or two, you can always come back. So my thought was, all right, I need to go live life for a year or two in some town and go back to New York City.
All right.
And within 6 months, I bought a house in Biloxi.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
Cheers, bro. When you said it sounded like that one commercial that I always see, like was it a hot sauce or it was some kind of sauce commercial?
New York City.
Yeah.
New York
Taste
City.
pecani, yeah.
Yeah, the salsa, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When you said it though, I was just that's the commercial popped in my head.
That used to be a good commercial, though.
I love it.
Catchy.
We should reenact it. We should do it on the green screen.
Yeah,
Let's take a break.
yeah, we're gonna take a little break. We'll
Jump
be right back.
on it.
All right, bring some hot sauce.
All right.
New York City.
New York City.
We're coming back at you. We left off with Shawn telling us about how he got his house down here in Biloxi. So you said 2014 you came down here on your very first visit. What about that visit? I guess really other than the boats and the girls and the island, stuck. I mean, that's a lot, and that's enough right there. But tell us about how you came down here. You mentioned Jacob. That's Jacob O'Keefe. For those of you who don't know, he's a good buddy of ours. He's also in Neptune Line 5. But I owe him a special thank you for bringing one of my new best friends down here to the coast.
Yeah,
For sure.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that. But go ahead and tell us about that first experience.
So the first time I came down, like I said, I was headed to Houston. My best friend from undergrad, we were roommates in undergrad. He's a pharmacist in Houston. And I told Jacob, hey, I'm going to be on a 10. And he said, hey, stop by. And like I said, we hopped on that boat. And it started off at Horn Island. But then after that, he was like, yeah, we're going to head to my grandfather's his crib on the beach. We're going to watch some fireworks. I'm like, it doesn't stop. Like, really? It's been straight up fun the entire day. Then nighttime, it wasn't over, and we went to on the boat straight to his grandfather's crib, and they were shooting fireworks and having fun doing that too. And then it was just overwhelming. Like all of that was like, man, this is a lot. You guys do this all the time? And he was like, straight up, yeah. And I believed him. Next day, just so happened to also be his grandfather's birthday. So we're at the O'Keefe house, and I'm like, oh man, this. A lot of people. His entire family was there, and I don't know if you know, but he has like 50 plus first cousins.
It's
a huge
big family. Yeah.
So it went from just being like 6 people at the house, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, 50, 60, 70, like a lot of people. I'm like, oh, it's going down. It's going down. I was like, all right, I'll just hang over, corner table, eat some chips, and just roll out into the sunset behind everybody. But anyway, his grandfather. The first time I met him and I heard about him, Jacob, he talked about him profusely in school. Like he was a World War II vet, Air Force hero, did really well, shot down some, Japanese planes during the war. Like he spoke really highly of him.
Very.
Granted, shouldn't.
Yeah.
But so anyway, he walked through the door. It's his birthday, and I was like, oh man, there he goes. And it's like everyone that was there just parted, like it was Moses coming through the Red Sea, and everyone just looked at him, and he walked straight to me. I was like, oh no, you gotta be kidding me! Don't come over here. Sat right next to me, and we just got to chopping it up, and I can tell the family was like, man, I want to sit next to Jerry. I want to talk to Jerry. I'm just like, I don't know why you came next to me. But he came right next to me. He got to know me. We talked a lot about New York. And what I heard was that's generally the kind of guy he was. If there's one person in the room that he didn't know, that's who he's going to spend time getting to know. And,
that says a lot about who he
rest
is.
in
as a
peace.
person.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
For sure.
But
Good
people
dude.
that are doing that, they have the special it, and they can see,
They do.
what intrigues them or what the situation may hold that's unique about something. And there's not many people that have that craft. But
Agreed.
in order to be, I guess, subjective or to put yourself in that situation, there's something special about those kind of people. Because a
Agreed.
lot of times meeting someone new for the first time can be extremely awkward. A lot of people get anxiety level 100 on that.
For sure.
Let me tune in on this though real quick. Big Jeff, which is Jacob's dad.
Yeah.
And when I started doing events and stuff, especially when I started my photography and doing that all that kind of work and go to these events, his dad would come up to me. Like, I mean, I knew him, but his dad would always, Big Jeff, he's at every event. A charity event, Big Jeff's in the back of the room donating something. I mean, they're that family. Like, the Bradford O'Keefe family is just, the funeral home, like, and that's why it's just such a, I don't know, they're a big part of the coast, and they do the right things. But I'm telling you, Big Jeff, like he said about, Jerry hit his dad, Big Jeff always, golf tournaments, and he'd sit there.
towards
Yeah.
it.
He'd sit there with me and talk, and man, he's one of the, you love the dude. I mean, that family.
You want to know more.
Yeah.
Almost. Like
Sure,
they're
for
good
sure.
company to be around. So
Agreed.
shout out to the O'Keefes.
Yeah. Shout out
Sure.
Bradford O'Keefe.
You got me.
Funeral
When,
homes.
you got me when I die. I'm gonna let you come bury me.
Yeah.
so.
When you're, if you need if a funeral, you go to that family because they really do care. They put their heart into that, and then they give back to the community. I mean, without the O'Keefes, I mean, there wouldn't be as many nonprofits or charities or because that's what they do. They give back. I mean, Big Jeff. I mean, Big Jeff is just one. I mean, he's cool. He's a cool
laid back.
dude. So cool.
I know where he got it from. He definitely got it from Jerry.
From Jerry.
Oh, for sure.
I never
And that's
got to
got to
meet
be
him.
where
for
Jacob
sure.
and,
Yeah.
That's where they
it's
get
all
it
just
from.
falling down the
Yeah.
tree there. They
Without
say
a
the
doubt.
apple doesn't fall far from.
Agreed.
But so they got you down here. You fell in love with the place. A few years later, you moved down here. You buy a house. Where can you be found these days? What do you do for fun, Shawn?
Just you name it, just coast life, everyday things. So last weekend, had a great round of golf with my buddies at the Preserve. Friday, randomly after work, we played at Sunkist.
Yeah.
Both days, can't wait for that. Give us a
You
couple
shot
more
your
months.
best round. What was the score?
Oh man, calling me out.
85.
I wish 103.
I mean, you gotta start somewhere. I don't even keep scores.
But it's
So-
at the-
And I don't
Right.
golf, so you got me.
And it's at the Preserve. It's a really hard course. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
How many
it's
balls
not
did you
easy.
lose?
I don't really keep track of that. Maybe 2.
Okay. Oh, he's good. Yo. So, as far as work goes, you're a pharmacist down here. Tell us a little bit about where you're at. I know I visit you some, but you just recently took on a new gig too. So now you're kind of splitting your time up. Hit us with some of that.
So I'm at one of the chains locally, and then I also picked up, some PRN work at the Oceans Hospital around here too. So do a little. I feel like a second gig that I picked up. It's more so I'm passionate about pharmacy, and it doesn't feel like work. So I am working a lot. Like I work every day almost. I don't have too many days off. But when I'm there, it just feels like,
You're at home.
something I'm doing for fun. Yeah, and you get paid for it.
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
everyone always wants to get paid for a hobby, but I enjoy it.
I know that because when we were at when Emily, it was me and Emily came with Oliver or whatever, and Shawn didn't know I had as a son. We were talking about I guess he was having a cold or something like that. And Shawn he went straight boom, no Emily like this, and he got he's so into I seen him go from wait, that, and then the love he has for people and helping them, you know, and that's important, especially if you're, you know, if you're in that field. If you love what you do, I mean, it shows, and that's important.
Appreciate that. I do.
I was thankful. I tell Emily that. I mean, she took his advice. I mean, she was like, I mean, you can see his heart open for Oliver, and it actually helped. Thank you for that, man.
Anytime.
So he's spot on.
Cheers to that, bro.
Cheers to that.
You got a big heart. I love that about you.
Love you guys.
So I know I've been in there a few times, you know, and I've sent some friends that way. And at one point, you know, my parents started coming in there, and my mom gives me a phone call one day. You know, shout out Kathy.
Shout out Kathy.
And I say, hey, you know, my friend Shawn, he's a pharmacist there, and she comes back and says, that guy's your friend? I've been seeing him for a while. And then I know y'all kind of hit it off, and y'all have got y'all's own relationship based off of it. So he can be found out there, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to tell you where at, but if you're looking and you're sick, this smile is one you want to see because he can take care of it.
He's got a beautiful smile.
I got your back, guys. I got your back, Coast.
All right. So tell us about, you know, what's next in your life. You know, you know, this new job's kind of opening up some opportunity for you as far as experience wise, and we want to see, you know, you stay put as long as possible. But you know, the future is a crazy place, and I know we've talked about the new pharmacy school that they've got opening up here. And with that being said, you know, there's going to be some more competition down here. So we see possibly some transition or some shift in the future. I'm trying to get in on Amisial's pharmacy.
That'd be tight, right? Has a good ring to it. Has a little ring to it.
It does have a ring to it.
Something I can insure, you know. There's got 10 of them.
I'm definitely coming to you with that.
So,
10 of them.
But yeah.
How often should somebody wash their hands on a daily basis?
Well, that's a good question. I never really thought about that. Pretty much just after you touch something. So when you know, if you've been out all day, you know, before you touch your, you know, little Oliver, you know, wash your hands and you're home, you're fine. So I'd say, you know, when you come in from outside, bathroom. You know, before you eat, bathroom especially the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna sneeze, you know, try not to sneeze in your hands. But if you do sneeze in your hands, wash your hands. Generally, aim for the cusp of your elbow. Yep, your body's a temple.
I'm getting better at that because I'll say that I'm pretty much. I mean, I'm messy at times, but
well,
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Emily's
Yeah.
super clean. I'm like a man child. Not gonna lie about that.
No,
I'm a man child.
I don't believe it.
No, I'm a man child. Yeah, no, it's serious. And another thing is, I mean, have we found a cure for hangovers?
I think it's more drinks.
More, yeah, don't stop drinking. Keep the level up there. Keep the level up there. Keep it up.
This Kiss My Grits is absolutely amazing.
I got about half a glass of this left before
Wow.
I try.
I want to try.
It's
I'm looking forward to
smooth
trying that.
and light. It's amazing.
I'm looking forward to it.
So-
This is delicious, but I definitely want to try some of that.
What does it taste like?
I
I'm
mean,
guessing grits.
I mean, the last beer, Nick hit it on the head. He said, this beer tastes like Gatlinburg. And it was good. It was good. So, but yeah, give us your spin on it, Jourdan.
oh, it's so smooth. I would say, kind of reminds me of river crawfish days, where you listen to music at a river, you know, somebody's house.
I've been there.
Like Johnny Mallett's house.
Yeah.
Little crawfish, you got that feel. It brings, like, I want crawfish, some good music, and I want a tube.
Oh, wow.
I don't want a kneeboard. I want a tube.
Yeah, nobody wants a knee. It's too much work.
Kneeboard, no. Nobody wants a kneeboard. Everybody wants to be on a tube. Let's
agree.
tube.
I agree.
I'm definitely gonna. I want to buy a jet ski.
Well, let's do it.
It's random, but it's true.
Somebody wants to take us on jet ski rides, and we can do some filming on there.
Can you imagine if we all had matching outfits, matching jet skis, and we rode the river together, kind of like a car club, but it's us. Line 5 takes over the water.
Wow, you just blew my mind with that.
We might all need Line 5 might all need to get jet skis.
Oh, shit. Wow.
It could be like
Line
Waterworld.
3's got mullets. Yeah,
They do. They do.
Like Waterworld rolling up to Horn Island, like meow.
Dylan Ahern's got that full blown, like, looks like Roadhouse. You know what I mean? The mullet's like,
He shaved it. He's cut it off.
I know,
He
but-
did-
I think
but
he
he
did.
did have it. It looks good.
I
It
can't
looked
stop though. I mean, it's
He
still,
rocked it. He did a hell of a job with that thing.
Not gonna lie, if I could grow out a mullet, I probably would. Just
Well,
once, just
we
to get
need-
it over with.
We need to Steve Harvey for another month, and then you grow out whatever you want.
You know, what do you guys think about this Steve Harvey mustache? Like, I feel like
Man, I'm thinking that
this
it's
is where
gonna be
it's at.
epic.
This is
Put
it.
it on. Let's see what it looks
you guys
like.
ready for that?
bro.
Are you guys ready
Yes,
for that?
yes.
Are you guys
For
ready?
those of you who
Y'all
don't
ready?
know, we are all in the Krewe of Neptune, and we have Mardi Gras right around the corner. Be on the lookout.
What's the date for that?
The ball is February 15th, and I do believe it's sold out. There are minimal viewing tickets, I think, left. But then the parade is February 22nd, downtown Biloxi, starting, I think, at 5:30. So get there early, get your spots. You'll see some publicity on it online here in the next few weeks, but we're looking forward to it. New floats this year. We did get some new floats. They're all going to be different. They're all going to be way nicer.
Nice.
So we're doing some processing on possibly acquiring some of them as well. So there's some growth there.
Yin Yang Twins. Yin
Yang Twins is going to be at Neptunalia
Nice.
at the Hard Rock, and those tickets are, I think, on sale online on Eventbrite. So we're looking at a huge bash. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. And I'm glad and happy to say that Line 5 and us, everyone in this room, kind of takes part in a little bit of that. But not to discredit any of the other guys, because each line brings their own recipe to the table, and then the leadership too. They pretty much keep the glue that holds us all together.
They're great dudes. I mean, they're amazing, and it is disappointing though, because Line 5. When you think Neptunes, you think Line 5.
Of course. I know that's what I do.
It's kind of,
I definitely think that.
I love Neptunes, everybody in it, but then you got Line 5, and it's like, we got a glow around us. When we walk in a room, it's like,
Agree.
That's right.
I mean, we don't mess around.
Like Moses in the Red Sea.
Yeah. You got to be born for it. Not just anybody can get in. You got to pass a 4-point check, background check.
I'm so ready for one of the best things is the float. I truly enjoy it.
Oh, I love the
float
ride.
Man, we get there and we stay before the float. I love it.
I mean, it's a whole day of camaraderie.
Beautiful.
We got I think last year we had about 70-something units. And for the lines, there's 6 now individual lines, and each line's got anywhere from 50 to 60 people in it. So each one of these floats that we're bringing, they're double deckers. And again, for those of you who don't know, Mardi Gras is not really that well thought of or known outside of the Gulf Coast or Louisiana. I think they've got some over in Mobile, is where it originally started, Joe Cane Day. But once a year, we just get together and we party, and we have royalty for these balls. There's a king, there's a queen, and then there's I think it's dukes and maids are their accompaniment. And you were a duke in one of them last year. So you were here for a very short amount of time before you were sold in on this Mardi Gras thing that we do. But each individual crew is kind of known for their own special deal, and then Neptune is one that we're all in together, and we have the night parade, and we always try to bring the biggest and best entertainment. This year the Yin Yang Twins, we were trying to get it to balance out and hoping that the Saints would make it to the Super Bowl, and that would be one wild party, but I guarantee you it's not going to be any less of a party. So, but other than that, we've got some other things on the horizon. I want to talk to you guys about still, but I say we take another little quick break.
That sounds good to me.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we'll be back, boys and girls.
Later, y'all.
Hey, and we're back. And before we take it into this next segment, I do want to take this time to kind of tip our hat to ourselves and congratulate us. We just got accepted to iTunes, a couple days ago?
Yesterday.
And it was normally a 2-week process, and we did it in 24 hours, 48 hours.
Nice. Congrats, boys.
Yeah, cheers to that. Cheers to iTunes.
Cheers to
Thanks
iTunes.
for having us.
All we do is cheers.
We're gonna bring you some more good content.
And I got today, I don't know, I have this passion of mine that started at a young age, where I thrift shop, and I do things that as when I was a kid, we had a lot of siblings. My mom made the best we can, have name brand clothes, and she worked really hard, but they were secondhand. All my clothes were secondhand, and even to this day, I shop and wear secondhand clothes. That's just how I am. So I just do it weekly weekly go buy some and shop around and find some treasures, and I found y'all some treasures.
No way.
Yes,
really?
I did.
What you got?
Oh, that was nice of you, man. Heck yeah.
And,
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily, for your amazing font. Like, she does this font.
Wow.
It's
Man, there was some time and effort put into these things.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah, we don't play around here in this
Kind of
family.
heavy, too.
Ooh, man, yeah.
Ooh, real
Y'all
heavy.
enjoy it.
I feel like I'm going to have to read this. Shawn, why don't you open yours up first, and we'll see
Y'all
what
do
you
it
got.
same time.
Or same
Yeah,
time.
same
All right,
time.
3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
Oh, gosh, somebody tied this knot really good.
Yeah.
I know. I
Impressive.
felt like that was she made it really hard. Yeah.
All right, I'm beyond it.
How do you get past your knot so fast?
I know.
That's
That's
part
a
of being
lot
in
of
the
work.
South.
That's a lot of work going on there, Shawn.
Did she calligraphy this?
Yeah, she's really good. She's been learning. She said, "I want to learn how to." I said, "Babe,
That
you
is
can do
nice.
you can make your own calligraphy, and I'll make it a font that we can sell."
Dude,
Okay.
are we gonna stay up all night trying to break these or what?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
I think we
yeah.
should. I think we should.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Jourdan. Let's just see the first one that you're going on file making, and you're going to try to break it. I'm just going to do this random page in the book, and you're accepting this challenge.
What did I
correct?
get y'all? What did I get y'all?
All right, you're gonna biggest selling designer perfume. So before you die, you have to come up with.
Guinness Book of World Records, 2001 and 2000.
Yes, sir.
So I got to check yours and make sure mine haven't been broken.
I think yours is the Y2K though. I don't really. I think we like everything went black right then. That's what I thought.
I like the chrome.
I do like the
flashiness
chrome.
of it.
I do like the chrome.
But the meaning behind doing that, I feel like it's the gift. It's about giving. The gift's not. I mean, it's the fact of I took time. It's giving. I enjoy that, whether the gift is or not. But I've seen this, and I was like, oh, they're gonna love it. Like it's just cool.
it.
I love when we were growing up. We all loved buying the Guinness Book of World Records, or we went to the school fairs and looked at them because they're kind of expensive back then.
Agreed.
These cost me 99 cents
Dope.
at Goodwill in Ocean Springs,
Nice.
and it's like a super
Shout out.
center, clean. Yeah, and we did. What is that? It's an organ, right? We bought. Yeah,
Yeah.
I bought an organ. It's amazing, and we're gonna turn it into. I'm gonna get my neighbor to fix it, but we're gonna turn it into a bar, and
Sweet
to
time.
hang out. Yeah, because
Sweet time.
old Matthew over here got a guitar. He likes music, and he's amazing.
Yeah.
He probably does a song a week. He probably writes and plays a song a week. And coming to the future, 2020, we might drop an album.
Yeah. And speaking of music, why we got you on the show, I did want to, take this time to honor your xylophone playing that you used to do back in the day. So I did bring a xylophone.
Did you?
What?
It's going
Don't do
down.
that. Don't do that.
Doom. Show me what you're working with. Yeah. So
I'm a bit rusty though. I'm not sure if I can still play that thing.
let us be the judge.
Yeah,
right?
you
Is that
weren't
right?
kidding. Yeah, you got the xylophone.
Got some drumsticks or whatever.
Oh my God, you got the drumsticks too.
Here you go.
What you like? Where'd you get this?
I don't
So
know.
Shawn told me a story one time when we were hanging out about whenever he was in the second grade, I believe it was. He did a lot of things in the second grade. I think we all did, but that's a very young time in a child's mind whenever they're learning and they're taking in. But he played the xylophone so well that their principal asked him to play over the school intercom for the announcements, and the
did.
song of
She
choice
did.
was, what was it?
It was Swanee River.
And
I'm excited.
This story stood out to me so much that I remembered it now to maybe say, hey, let's get him on the podcast and let's see if we can hear Swanee River. Now you up for it?
I have no idea how to play Swanee River.
Okay, we'll just beat on it.
It's been a long time.
You're
Can you do 112 Cupid?
I can't do.
Let's
I
hear
can
you do something. Let's hear you do
I
something.
can do one at a time.
Perfect.
Just try. Just get into it.
Anyway, what we're saying here is when
Yeah.
we start the band, we have a spot for you.
I'm owning this.
Yeah.
I'm owning this.
Yeah.
We have a spot.
So I did see a guy play on the NFL Sunday during the divisional playoff game, and he straight up had the xylophone.
Was he
and
killing it?
He played the NFL theme song before.
Oh, really?
So I just felt like
So I was watching the video.
challenge accepted, bro. Challenge accepted.
I was watching the video. They had 4 of them
did.
in each hand, so 2.
He was killing it.
The fact that they were keeping the space in between, I guess the knobs or whatever you call the ends of the sticks, I thought that was pretty impressive.
Gonna take me a lot of practice, huh?
Well, when we got nothing but time.
Maybe I need to lower the bar.
Yeah,
I
Maybe
feel
the
like-
NBA theme song.
but you're a dedicated person. You
Oh,
know?
for sure.
And speaking of
For sure.
dedication, tell us more about your time management. That's always something that does impress us too. We kind of honed in on it a little bit, off air, and Jourdan was like, man, that amazes me that he can do that. And really, that is another one of those special traits that certain people can talk about doing it, but actually living it is very impressive. But go into how you manage every second of your day and seize every second of your day.
and do it in a way where you can kind of maybe inspire some people to get on the right track. Because I mean, you really are like tunnel vision. Like it's serious.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of like the Biker Boys movie. Remember when they did
Tunnel
when he's
vision.
driving that
more
Hayabusa in the
Harley
tunnel,
Davidson.
and it's like that song at the end. That's what Shawn does every day of his life. It's crazy.
Well, I aspire to do, and that's when you're living for a purpose. So my goal was always to live for a purpose, make every day count. So I guess it really started or manifested from the 7 habits of highly influential, highly effective people. and that book inspired me.
John C.
Yeah.
Maxwell?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. I think I have that book.
So pretty much you want balance in your life. You know, you don't want to do one thing too often. So I have goals for everything, and I want to have balance in my life. But how do you know you're achieving balance? I've always been a numbers kind of guy, and I always want to shoot for the stars. And, you know, if you land on the moon, you're still there. So I try, you know, to set a goal. So, for instance, I have a goal that I want to pray, you know, and be thankful for 5 things, you know, daily. Well, I know I can't say daily for a year, and it's tough for me to do it for 30 days. So I have a goal that says, you know, pray for thanks for 11 days straight. And then I'll, you know, count how many days I do it, and hopefully
Put a note on your phone.
put a note on my phone. And then
Let me see that again. Hold on.
I'm on day 8 out of 11.
Can you show to that camera a little bit? Like, that's impressive. That is neat.
So-
Is that emojis? Is that emojis?
Yeah, just to,
Pat
you know,
yourself
you
on
want,
the back.
yeah, just to
Yeah.
keep it fun for
Cheers to
yourself.
that, bro. This is
Thank you.
definitely.
I appreciate that.
I like it, bro.
Yeah.
You're a good dude.
So,
But
thank-
not only that, you know, I've seen you do that before, but I know we've been places and you have these alarms and they go off and you're like, okay, I got to go. I got to
Yeah.
run. I got to go do this. I got to do that. So you've literally got your whole life mapped out on this schedule with goal-oriented, I guess, pushing it. That's impressive to me. And I have no doubt that's impressive to some other people too. So this is where we're going to give you a tip of our hat and say kudos to you.
Hey, I appreciate it, boys.
You
I
know,
appreciate it.
And we want to try to, you know, give out to anybody else and motivate, you know, if you're looking for anything to kind of push you to that point. You said, you know, that book. Is there any other books
That was
you're
the
reading,
start.
or-
I listen to a lot of audiobooks now, but for what I took, the biggest takeaway for me from that book was I have a purpose, have direction, right? But how do you know you're actually, you know, doing it? You have to write it down. It's goal setting. You know, so time management really revolves around goal setting. So what are your goals? You know, you can have long-term, short-term, mid-term, but what are your goals? What's most important to you? So when I used to tell people this back in the day, you know, when you're around, you know, no one actually, when you're alone, you know, get a piece of paper out and you write down what you want. Brainstorm it. Give yourself 5-10 minutes. Just brainstorm. Anything you want, you write it down. Write it down. Anything. And after that, for 5 minutes, now put a date on all of them. Some of them are going to be short term. Some of them are going to be long term. So I had a date for when I wanted to graduate. You know, I thought it was going to be med school at the time, but I had a date where I wanted to graduate med school. I had a date, you know, where I wanted to make, you know, $1 million, where I want to make my first 6 figures, when I want to travel the world. And you just aspire to knock your dates out. There's nothing better. I promise you, there's nothing better in life than writing a date down and coming back 5 years later.
crossing it off.
Oh my God. That's like the best feeling in the world.
I do it. You know,
Yeah.
a legal paper. Like my buddy Michael West, shout out to him. Direct Auto, right there in St. Martin. I was seeing him in his office. This is the first time, like, you know, writing down. He had this yellow legal paper, and like he said, he writes every to do, and then he marks it off. That's how he keeps track of.
Dude, you look in my office right now, and there's
You do it
100 of
too.
them.
Yeah, so do I. So I'll say I sit in his office. Like, how do you keep up with? I think he sells like 85 cars a month or something. I mean, he really.
Oh, wow.
He's already.
That's a lot.
I mean, he's really a great guy. But you know, he sits. I said, how do you keep everything together? He's like, and it's not a nice leather folder or anything. It's a yellow legal paper and a pen, and it does it. And I think that's very important to, you know, you got to keep track of your, like you said, write it down or it's not going to happen.
So I got this from another book recently, but anyway, weekly efficiency audits on your goals.
On yourself?
Yeah, for your goals.
Wow.
So now every Sunday you look at your goals and just really track them. Like, all right, I got 8 out of 11 on being thankful. Sweet. How'd I do on, you know, trying to be keto or something else? You know, I have them listed. But anyway, so you give yourself efficiency audits every week. You just reflect, all right, so how well did I really do? Am I really living for a purpose, or I'm just going through the motions of life? You know, and it kind of, you know, you can judge yourself because you can lie to anyone else in the world, right? But you can't really lie to yourself.
And that's the most
right?
important. That's right.
Do you do audiobooks or do you read?
Audiobooks. I used to read more, but now I get exhausted. The coast, I love the coast, but it can be a little overwhelming. It's nonstop. Like, there's something to do all the time.
Always.
Every day.
There's always events.
And so now I get to just take advantage of the audiobooks because I don't want to miss out on a lot of
And
what
you
the
do
coast
that
has to
work?
offer. And I still have to work,
And when
so.
you do, you sit there with your headphones in, or
Yeah,
or
you
maybe
can pull it
not.
to
I don't know if
iPod.
that's legal, or I don't know.
Well, I did it for like a week, and then I told my big boss, like, "Hey, you can't really do that." And so, no
Smart,
more.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do a lot of Dale Carnegie,
Yep.
John C. Maxwell. It was a 4-hour work week. Robbie D'Angelo brought me onto the 4-hour work week. Do his book, and I'm doing like I forgot the other one, but the 4-hour work week was a really good book. But the Dale Carnegie, have you done Dale Carnegie?
I love it. Yep, that's
Wow.
my favorite book. How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Yeah, that's my first
That
book.
is
That's my first book. I was
That's the book right there.
I was kind of going through a little depression time, and I just went to audiobooks to self. You got to improve yourself. You got to invest in yourself.
Yeah, bettering yourself is always an option.
Yeah,
I've
and
always said it.
Dale Carnegie, and then Napoleon Hill. That's been a big one. But yeah, Dale Carnegie, that book right there, and then Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie got me to like kind of hold back and not worry about things as much, because things are going to happen. Things are going to happen in life, and no matter what, you can't. You got to put a fire out and move on. I mean, a lot of failures, and you learn that through the Dale Carnegie. Like you really do. It's like you're going to fail. At least try. This right now, what me and Matt, you've seen the first video. You've been a part of it when we were hanging out and stuff. And we learned in audio.
For sure.
And we have failed until now, and we just got approved on iTunes. Like we put our hearts in it. We're tired, and we don't know the direction of this thing. But it was all about failure.
And we'll probably fail again.
We're gonna keep failing.
The persistence is
That's how you learn, man.
You throw it all to the wall, and something's going to stick.
You never really fail until you give up.
That's
So
right. You're right about
Keep
that.
going.
So, do you have any
Good.
hobbies besides being a doctor, which is cool? Do you go by doctor?
I don't, but I probably should.
Probably should.
You paid for it.
Right,
You
I
earned
did
it.
pay- I did
If
earn
I
it.
had a doctorate, I'd be a doctor.
Doc. Would you let people call you Doc?
Oh yeah,
For sure.
yeah, dude.
Like Dr. Johnny, people call him Doc.
I would have a license plate, and I would drive a red Mercedes convertible. Yeah, and I'd be listening to like Wham.
So funny story, and I don't even know if I've told you this before, Brooks, but when I first got to FSU my freshman year, I went by Shawn or whatever. But then midway through, I just had this epiphany that you have to speak things into existence, and I was just really weird about it. I just wanted to be so successful so bad, but I just made everyone start calling me Doc. I was like, hey, yeah, it was serious. So I made everyone was like, hey, I don't want to be rude to you guys, but if y'all see me and call me Shawn, I might ignore you. Call me Doc. That's my new name.
And TC still invited you to all the parties?
Why don't we? Should we call him?
You guys
should
don't
call
have to
him
call me
Doc.
Doc.
What do you want to be called?
Shawn. I like Shawn.
No,
I'll just
no,
go.
it's gotta have doctor and like doc. What is it? Doctor what?
Dr. Shawn or
Dr. Shawn.
Amisial.
Which one do you want? Dr. Shawn or
Dr. Amisial.
I like Amisial? I like
do
it.
Sounds
that.
good.
Yeah, it does. It sounds. It
Just
Sounds like
really.
you should be charging at least like a $60 copay.
Dr. Amisial. Like,
every time.
man, you worked hard, and that's another thing is like, I think, being humble. Being humble is great, but if you earn it, if you put that hard work in, and you grind all the class and all the stress and stuff like that, call yourself a doctor,
I appreciate
and
that.
and own it. I'd wear a coat every day.
He does.
Every day.
I've seen him.
I do it all the time.
All the time.
Hey, next time you're on, you're gonna bring a coat.
I'm bringing my coat.
Yeah,
I just have
I
to.
might. Yeah,
maybe
bring
your,
a coat.
maybe your research goggles and some gloves.
Some gloves.
But
Speakers.
that's
I'll
the
set it
thing
off.
though, Shawn. Is I'm serious. Like I could tell you're humble. But that's being humble in what you've earned. Like you put in time. I mean, altogether, how many years from start to finish?
It was a lot of years.
Let's go. Let's drop it on me.
So I went straight to FSU from high school, no breaks. So I was, 17, turning 18, finished that in 4 years straight. Then went like the day after I graduated. The Monday after I was back in New York City, and I was working, within 2 weeks after that as a teacher, full salary, full everything. And the program I was in, it was a fellowship program, and they just figured they want more chemistry or science and math professionals in the inner city teaching these subjects, because that's where, they figured you'd get more passion out of guys like that, and they'll teach you how to teach. So I would have a blast in class. I'd blow things up. The kids would get all excited. And I don't know if I inspired any chemists, but I know a few of them went to college, and,
That's all that matters.
they
remember
I
it.
think they liked it. Yeah, I think they liked it.
You might be one of their mentors.
For sure. So from 18 straight to 30 almost, it was school. And I took, like I said, I taught for 4 years.
It's a long
And,
time.
and then, you finish up.
The grind is real.
The grind is real.
And here we are.
And here we go.
when you know, like when you get up, like what satisfaction do you, like you said, like I love what I do. You know, is it the love, you know, the people? Is that what it is? I mean, it's what drives you is helping people.
I do love helping people. I'm a people's person. I always have a smile on my face. I appreciate people and all people and what they bring to the table. Everyone's unique. Everyone's different. But I get a passion about being around people. But I do also have a passion for science and chemistry. And for me, pharmacy was the best bridge. You get
for sure.
Sure. You get chemistry and you get people.
So big pharma's catching a big rap right now. You know, I think that's and then to have you guys on like the front lines. You know, keeping the eyes out for the actual, I guess the interactions that the big pharma really doesn't see. You know, you're out there seeing it. And y'all have a lot of influence in I guess what says and what goes and what's sold. You know, they want to sell everything, of course. You know, but with, I guess, the opioid addiction and stuff, I know you've seen some crazy stuff inside of pharmacy. You know, I've been in pharmacies before, and I've seen crazy stuff. And then having to be the person that tells them no or to leave or to let's get help for this person, you know, that's got to be crazy. But without those morals and those people in place, like God only could imagine where this world would be right now.
Agreed.
So appreciate that, too.
A lot of big bucks being spent right now. There's litigation actually in Michigan. You know, all the pharmacy chains have gotten together. They're suing doctors because some of the patients are suing the pharmacies saying you're the reason. Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
A lot of people don't know. It's just something you read about. But anyway, it's actually like CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart. I think they all got together in Michigan, and they're suing the pain clinic doctors because the patients are trying to sue the pharmacies, saying that it's our fault. And the pharmacist is saying, well, hold on, we were just listening to the doctor. Now we have more say. We can't, if we don't believe in its intended use for the patient, we have the right to decline. In the state of Mississippi, I'm sure other states do that too. But
can you bring this up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so that kind of helps. You know, before it was like, hey, you just fill whatever the doctor orders. Now, you know, when
it's at your discretion almost.
It is, and it should be.
You know,
because you can tell.
Feeling. Yeah.
You can just tell sometimes.
Is this second? Now, I'm not in your world, and I didn't go through it. Is it now, like, you know, even with me, like with work and things I do, second nature? You get good at your craft. Is it kind of second nature? Do you everything going on? I mean, that's a lot of pills, dude. There's a lot of things.
Yeah. How many pills you count a day?
Yeah.
So the techs, shout out to my techs. I love my techs. They do most of the counting. I'm there just to oversee, more so just to make sure things are accurate and look for drug interactions, drug disease state interactions. Just look for things that, you know, can really harm.
Right.
You know, so my goal is always to make sure no one gets hurt, you know, number one, because some people, you know, they may go to this doctor for one thing and forget to tell that doctor over there that they're taking this from that doctor, and you know,
and you're the checks and balances.
You know,
hey, these two things could kill you.
Just to make sure everyone comes out.
So, how
okay.
many prescriptions a day do you think you're pumping out?
About 400.
400. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, about 400.
You got to shake every one of those people's hands. You'd meet the whole coast in a matter of 2 years.
I probably would.
Like grandmas, moms,
everybody.
Like, do you know like first names, last? Like, you really have a relationship with?
Oh, we absolutely have.
Oh, for sure.
Mean, my mom and dad, he's part of our family now. But you've been over for Thanksgiving and Easter, I think. So yeah, it's a tradition that we started, you know, and I think you'll be welcome back to many more. Shout out to mom and dad for always taking care of my friends.
Cheers to them on that.
Yeah, for sure.
They took care of JoJo too. My mom actually told me a story on the way over here. She said, you know, I saw y'all's video out and I shared it, and I was very surprised that my mom shared our video. So
that's
shout
awesome.
out, Mom. Thank you. But she said that whenever she saw it, all she could be reminded of is a story about when me and you were kids. And she said we used to make you sit in the front of the van with her for whatever reason. I don't recall making you sit anywhere, but she remembers she would turn the radio on and you would switch it to the point where she had to like smack your hand physically.
Yeah, because there was a lot of like Wow 98.
Yeah. Christian pop.
Love you, Miss Kathy, but like, come on.
So, wow, but she did tell me that story, and she was like, "You remember that?" And I was like, "Yeah, vaguely. I don't know, but no."
I like Jourdan remembers.
Yeah,
he
definitely.
Yeah, because it was like Wow 98. You know what I mean? I was like, "That's cool," but we're about to go paintballing. Like, I need to get hyped. You know, like, and that was it. Like, we had like, you know, we did a lot of church stuff, and you know, I mean, my mom would buy me the Wow 98s, and you know, you get in a car, and if I have reach, I'm going to get it.
You touched Miss Kathy's radio.
I got slapped. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, me and Matthew, that's why it's so important about us doing this, is because a lot of people don't know that, you know, me and him have, like, really became brothers over, you know, him just inviting me to go to church with him. And then when that happened, me and him stayed together for years. Like we just did everything together, like with families, dinners, paintball, school dances. I mean, the list goes on. Me and our buddy Micah, shout out to Shep. But we'd go to Chuck E. Cheese together.
Yeah.
We did a lot of things together. We would, I remember, yeah.
Get into trouble together. We do good things together. It was fun growing up. And now you're here. Now you're part of it.
That's one thing I noticed about the coast for sure, though. You guys stick with each other from like 4 years old, 3 years old, like the entire ride.
I mean, if you were in New York, you'd have your people too, and
I
you still
doubt
do.
it.
You know, I met some of your family that's came down.
That's
here.
family.
And,
Family
but
always sticks around.
I consider my friends my
I
family.
mean, we used to do like NFL 2K
Yeah.
tournaments at Matt's house. We'd order. His parents would order pizza. Now that's what I love about Miss Kathy and Mr. Robert is, you know, they're very strict. I mean, they're a religious family. I mean, they're very good people. They work hard. They're very polite. I mean, they're all, you know, you're around them. They're amazing people, but they always made sure that we had fun. You know, they always made sure we had sleepovers. They always made sure we had tournaments, and we'd
Give us something to do other than go and get in
They
trouble.
helped us build
Yeah,
a paint.
sure.
Like, you know, they did a lot of things for us. You know, to canoe trips. You know what I mean? Like me and Matt, we've won some canoe. Like we'd always canoe together.
Yeah.
Which we need to do that soon. I really miss it.
I think it would be fun. It's got to get warmer outside.
Oh, for
we
sure.
can do it right now. I feel like Scott's Hops and Growlers has warmed my soul.
Well, look, I think we're kind of coming to a close, so I'm going to take this chance to reach back out to Scott again. Thank you for our
Great
our
beer.
refreshments.
It was delicious.
So shout out to Hops and Growlers. You guys get on down there and go see them. Shawn, as always, man, thank you. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thanks for having me,
I look
boys.
forward to many more nights where we can get to peer inside of Shawn Amisial or Dr. Amisial.
Yeah,
shall
Dr.
we say.
Amisial. No, Doctor. Ladies, Dr. Amisial. Doctor.
Single. You heard him say it.
Single.
Or you heard it here.
Can we have your social media handles?
Yeah, tell us how we can get you on Instagram.
I don't even know my Instagram, to be honest. I'm not that active, but I'm sure Shawn.
Oh, you're a mystery. He's one of the mysteries.
Shawn _ Pill Doc is what I'm thinking, because that's my
Yeah,
Snapchat.
I think I've seen Pill Doc on there before.
I know. I feel like it has to be Shawn
I kinda
_
like that.
Pill
We're going to
Doc.
look it up, and we're going to drop it on the link down below, guys. So
Do
go
that
ahead and give him a
thing.
follow. And we do appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
And then
Yeah.
make sure you check us out on iTunes. Make sure you check us out on iTunes, Facebook. It's our handles Jourdan and Matthew at Facebook. At Instagram, it's Jourdan and Matthew, and our YouTube is also Jourdan and Matthew. But our podcast on iTunes and all over is Kathy and Susie's Kids.
Nice.
Peace.
I love you, Mom. This is for you. So, and Matthew's mom too. It's for the moms. We're doing it for the moms.
For the moms.
They need to be proud of us.
I think they are.
I hope
Without
they
a
are.
doubt. Without a doubt.
All right. Talk to
Bye.
you soon.
Later.